Hey, and we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. North Georgia's only live online morning show. You're watching FYNTV.com. Let me just say, I want to send a shout out. Sometimes I don't know who you guys are out there. I just have your Twitter handles, and you follow us on Twitter. That is great because I tweet out. And so whoever red lady in a blue state, I love it. Thank you for retweeting. Thank you for sending me comments all the time. So red lady in a blue state, and that's not our caller here that I'm about to talk to. That's somebody else in a blue state that's always sending me messages. So thank you very much. Okay, my theme is rural counties. I think rural counties in America are going to send this over the top. I am doing my own research on rural counties. I just left before commercial. I told you about a rural county in Pennsylvania that I had a phone call with the head of elections in that county that I never met before. But we have a report, Pennsylvania on the ground. We have Lee Snover on the phone with us now. Lee, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing good, and it's busy as ever.
Busy as ever. I see this. I see the things on Facebook. Hey, we got another 2,000 Trump signs. How many Trump signs do you have out in the Lehigh Valley? I want to know.
Without individuals who purchase their own, no. In my county, not even the Lehigh Valley, just Hampton County, we put out 8,000 signs and 29 barn signs. That's
wow.
So I say we'll be at 10,000 signs and 29 barn signs probably by the end of the week or next week.
Way to go. Way to go. You guys are working hard.
I mean, they're still here. Mike Pence is here Friday. So anyone who's telling you that Trump has pulled out of Pennsylvania, it's a lie. He's here Friday in Bensalem, so they're still here.
Well, I don't want to bring this up. It's a little side note, but Bensalem, I know where that's at because that's where the track is. So I got to be careful there. I remember the track. Yeah. Anyhow, Lee, let me ask you a serious note. And I say it jokingly, Tim Kaine will be in Allentown today, and he's going to make 2 stops there. So I think he's going to get all of 60 people. But jokingly, if they don't feel, if they're not nervous and not concerned, if they're not nervous or concerned, Kaine's not there. And I'm not going to say, they're going to say, and I'm going to tell you, I've got the communication director for Georgia coming up for the Trump campaign at 9:30. And there's going to be the media say, well, why was Tiffany and Ivanka in Marietta, Georgia yesterday? So turnabout's fair play, but what's the feel on the ground? How are you guys doing, and what do you think?
Okay, I think it's a 3 to 4 point race in Pennsylvania. That's my thought. I think they are still lying about the polls, especially in Pennsylvania. My county, Northampton County, was up 8 points for Trump in September. Now they're trying to tell us she's winning by 3. I do not believe there was an 11-point winning in my county. So they are trying voter suppression. But that's not the hot button in Pennsylvania. Voter fraud is the hot button in Pennsylvania. We have 67 counties, and 3 counties have the George Soros voting machines, and my county is one of them. Northampton County has the voting machines that were put in by George Soros' company. They're the Sequoia voting machines. And we are dealing with that because Trumpers do not want to vote on those voting machines. And it's a big issue because some are saying they're going to demand a paper ballot, and the Department of State is saying they will not count the paper ballot. So I'm in a problem here trying to get my Trumpers to vote on that machine because if they demand a paper ballot, it's not going to be counted. It's called a provisional ballot, and it's only counted if it's a tied election or a contested election. So it's a big issue here. It's been in the news, and we're trying to deal with it.
Yeah, I seen that posted the other day. When you say you're trying to deal with it, I mean, what is your biggest concern? I mean, all right, I'm going to say it like this, okay? So it's a Soros voting machine. I know you don't like hearing it like that, but these machines, have they worked in the past? I mean, what is the big concern that you guys have there in that area?
Okay, our big concern is not that they haven't worked in the past or but can they be manipulated because it was purchased and put in by George Soros, like when he needs to. Maybe they don't manipulate it during an off-year election or a local election, but maybe they have an ability to do so. But I don't want the Trumpers to demand a paper ballot. That ballot will not be counted, and they're going to be throwing their vote away. So I'm trying to get that message out as well. Do not demand a paper ballot. It's not going to be counted. secondly, we went and inspected the voting machines yesterday. Each party is allowed to come inspect the machines. My only problem with the county doing that is I think they did it way too early. We inspected the machines yesterday, but there's still 12 days to Election Day. So I complained about that, and they said that they need allowed time to transport them all over the county and set them up. But I still thought it was way
So
too
did
early.
you went and did your county's check on the machines, and tell us what checking the machines involved, because with the voter fraud, we want to hear that. Huh?
I didn't do it yesterday. One of the people in my leadership went, but I have gone before. I have checked them before. And what they do is they bring you in a room with all the machines from the entire county. You count the number of the machines because you want to make sure it's the right number on Election Day. You don't want an extra machine somebody doesn't know about.
Right.
So one thing they do is they serial number the machines, and you make sure it's the right number of machines that are supposed to be out on Election Day.
So if you get a chart, that says there's supposed to be 22 at this polling, and here's all the serial numbers, you get to check that there are 22, and here the serial numbers are.
Right, and for some reason there isn't a 23rd that nobody knows about. So that's one of the main things is the number of machines. And then you check to see the machines are working and that there's nothing on them, that there's 0 votes. And that is also done on the day of election, the judge of elections, before they start. They validate that all the machines are at 0, except in Philly. They're never at 0 in Philly. Okay, that's just a known thing in America. If you live in Pennsylvania, you know you're losing when the polls open on Election Day in Philly. But everywhere else, they should start at 0. So we did inspect the machines yesterday. I'm trying to calm down the people that don't want to vote on that machine because I don't want their vote thrown away.
Well, they will throw the provisional. Now, let me just say something really quick for our viewers here. Folks, what we're talking about is the election machines. This is Northampton County, Pennsylvania. How many registered voters, real quickly, in this county?
Oh my goodness, I don't know. I really don't. I'm not on numbers right now.
Well, it's a county of a population of about 300,000 in the 350. So anyhow, what we're talking.
It's a Democrat county, that's for sure, but they will vote Republican.
Well, I guess what I'm getting at is folks, we're used to, our viewers here, and we're bringing you this information, but we're used to, Fannin County, Georgia, we don't have voter fraud. I was up there yesterday. I know everybody was in the room. We have 2 machines. They're working fine. They're going to watch them. So that's why this is important, that these George Soros, you're hearing this on the internet, you are watching it, you're seeing it. I see you posted on Facebook. You're concerned about these George Soros voting machines. Lee Snover here in Northampton County, Pennsylvania is telling you their county has those machines. She's telling you what they do to check those.
Right. And we're also telling all of our voters, if you want to vote straight party, do not push the one button that says that. Go down and vote for each candidate. We don't trust the one button system. We're asking all people in our party, the Republican Party, to vote for each Republican individually. We do not trust the single voting button. We do not trust it.
So we have seen some things on the internet that have showed these, when you push one party, it'll switch to top one.
We are not doing that. We're asking everyone to vote for each candidate individually.
Make your choice.
Right. We're not asking them to hit one button because we have heard there's problems with that. That's what the glitch is. So, we don't want to take any chances. And we still think we can win. We're hopeful that we're going to win. The Trump campaign called me yesterday to see if I've done all this stuff in my county. Do I have an attorney, a solicitor on call? Have I checked the machines? Do I know of any voter fraud? So, because voter fraud does happen in Pennsylvania. I'm just telling you it does. And so we're always on edge with the presidentials especially.
What's your feeling? Because I will tell you this. I talked to, yesterday I sent a message, and we have, Donald Trump has on paid staff, not a volunteer, on paid staff, a communication director for the state of Georgia, Jennifer Hazelton, and she comes on the show about twice a week. And so this morning, she's going to be on at 9:30, and I sent her a message yesterday, and I said, I need to know from you, are you 100% still on board? Because the media is trying to create and say that there's, Trump people, that Kellyanne Conway are sending out tweets that are halfway supportive of her and not Donald Trump. They're doing all that. And she
Well,
said,
I think there is a phony Kellyanne Conway Twitter account.
okay.
I know there is because I went on National Public Radio the night after the middle debate, the second debate, and there were some really bad tweets on my account because I was very pro Donald Trump. And there was one came from a Kellyanne Conway condemning Donald Trump to me. So I know that was fake. So I think there is a fake Kellyanne Conway Twitter account out there because it was telling me that Donald Trump was bad to women and all this stuff. And she would never tweet that. It wouldn't make sense. So I do think that there's a lot of dirty tricks, and that's one of them right now.
Talk about, well, let me ask you a question. So are you feeling the people, or the enthusiasm for Trump is there, and are you feeling that, that everybody's still 100%? Because that was my question to Jennifer. Are you 100%? She said everybody. And I said, what about Kellyanne? She said everybody's 100%. So
everybody's 100%, and we're 100%. If it rains like the days of Noah, we're swimming to the polls. The Trumpers are going. We're going. We're going no matter what. And what we're doing is there's going to be huge lines.
Huge.
Huge. So
is that part of your talking points that they send out?
The lines. So we're having our greeters. We're going to be going up in the line, getting people to stay in line. Do not leave the line. I don't care if you're late for work. Stay in the line. So we expect really long lines, and we need our people to stay there and vote.
Okay, couple quick things. Two ladies I talked to yesterday, actually one in Pennsylvania. Now, I confirmed with an election official right in the clerk's office in a county yesterday that 1,000 Democrats moved their registration to Republican last year. There's two things that this lady told me, okay? She said 1,000 in this county had moved to Republican. The second thing she said is all the years she has been in this county in the election office, they had more people between 70 and 80 years old that registered to vote for the first time in their life.
Well, my sister-in-law is voting for the first time in her entire life.
Are you serious?
My sister-in-law is voting for the first time. Lola Snover is voting for the first time in her life. And she said, it took you 23 years, but you finally got me. So she's registering for the first time in her life and voting for Donald Trump. So it's out there.
Folks, that's big. That's big. Now, I got a couple things because you got so much great information on the ground. You're in the Northeast. I'm not going to say we don't have, we have a Catholic church in every county here, might I say, maybe 2 or 3, but you're in the Northeast. How are these emails playing there with the Catholics in your area? Can you get a sense of the Catholic vote in your area, the New Jersey, the Lehigh Valley, that area? Can you get a sense of any of that?
It's a difficult thing with the Catholics. It's a very difficult thing. Now, I think that there's been a lot of movement on the internet in the last 2 weeks for the Catholics to come home and to go strongly for Donald Trump. But it's a little, you never really know because a lot of Catholics, are not practicing. They're maybe not as devout, and they might not vote on the social issues. But I know the Catholics are working hard. My email's blowing up from local Catholics. The Facebook is blowing up from local Catholics.
So the Catholics are working hard.
Catholics are working hard. And another thing is, because since you're down there where it's the Bible Belt, it's not the Bible Belt up here, okay? And our church is having something on Sunday, like hours of prayer just for the election, having a special all-day thing just for the election. Because in the Northeast, it's different. It's different. We have to have these special events to get, our people motivated in the churches, and we're doing that on Sunday.
Okay, do you see the evangelical? Now, you do have some big churches in the Lehigh Valley. You have some big churches. Do you see those big churches, the evangelicals, with the voter guides? I remember years ago with the voter guides.
I already delivered the voter guides to our church. And you know what? I think about the evangelicals and Catholics. I think they're more quiet this time, but I think they're voting for Donald Trump. I don't think they're as much on the stump as you've seen them, but they're voting for Donald Trump. Another thing is, we're making a plea in our county. I'm going to be doing a robocall asking all the Republicans to come home. I don't know if you've noticed, that's been Mike Pence's message recently. All the Republicans to come home. If we can get the wayward Republicans to come home, we're going to win. We're going to win.
All right. Well, you're feeling very optimistic, and
It's Donald Trump. If you look at Donald Trump, I noticed it in the last couple days. He is radiant and positive. I don't think there's been one down moment for him. I mean, we got a shot at this. I'm hopeful we're going to win on election night.
Oh no, you're going to win
I
Florida.
rented an 80-inch TV.
What?
That's how hopeful I am.
You did what?
I rented a wall-sized TV for election night, so we had better win.
God almighty, you're nuts. All right, well, Jerry tells me a story. Jerry says that he can't trust the polls. We know our brother Jerry. Jerry says he goes to the movies the other night. He bumps into two kids he coached at American Legion that voted twice for Obama. That we're like, no way, man, no way. We're voting for Trump. I mean, Jerry's.
Yeah, something's weird about the kids because I don't follow it. Someone told me the kids voted for Hillary. You know how they do that every year? I don't know. I didn't look into that, and I don't believe it because we did a parade in Northampton, which is one of our biggest Democrat strongholds outside of the city. And they were charging our truck for Trump signs. And the kids were hanging on the side of the truck begging for Trump signs. But all the kids were saying his name. And it was funny. Kids were shouting his name, and parents were like pinching him and correcting him for Hillary. It was great. The kids were all shouting Trump.
Well, I will say this. I think rural America, I think there's going to be a shock November 9th. I think Rudy Giuliani has practiced with 5 crime families in New York, and that is what his warm-up game was. He's getting ready to take down the biggest crime family. I think Donald Trump's for real on that. I think Drain the Swamp is for real. I think he's serious. And I don't know if you heard the video, but I do not like Michael Moore, okay? I do not like him. But I will say this, Michael Moore put out, there's a video or an audio of about 6 minutes that Michael Moore says, hey, we got a problem here. The Trump voters are going to give, America's going to give Washington, D.C. the biggest FU they've ever seen on election day.
Well, another thing is it's definitely a country mouth versus city mouth election, okay? The country mouth has to win because you know why? I'm not going to lie to your viewers. Philadelphia is just plastered with Hillary Clinton signs and the counties around Philadelphia. And that's the wealthy city people. And that's her people, and it's going to be city versus rural, city versus country. That's what we have this election. Because I'm telling you, the city counties, they are on fire for her, and they have their signs plastered. I mean, it's real. Her city support and surrounding city support with the wealthy is real. So we have to overcome that with the rural. Okay,
I'm gonna let you go because I know you are stumping right up to the end to watch the results on that 80-inch screen TV. Okay, the polls, the one that came out in Pennsylvania, it has the Clintons shot because it only showed Hillary with a 3-point lead. But the number that has scared the Clintons to death is the number of undecided. It showed a 7% undecided. Well, you and I both know at this stage of the election, there's no undecided. Those 7% just don't want to say they're voting for Donald Trump. That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping. But you know what? I think we're going to have Democrats. I've never had Democrats openly tell me they're supporting Republican like they are this time. I had a man call from a little town called Wilson. It's all Democrat. He said, I'm a Democrat. My whole family's Democrat. I'm not going to let one person in this town vote for Hillary Clinton. So, I mean, I've never had calls like that into my Republican headquarters ever. Hey, let me just tell you something. Let me tell you something. Do you remember, and I got to get off here, but you remember my friend Gershinder over in Wilson? Yes. Yeah, all right. Well, if Gershinder sends me one more message telling me how crooked Hillary is, I mean,
right, exactly.
all day long. Geshinder's sending me message after message. I mean, and you know, he's from Wilson. That's everybody there from Wilson. And folks, if you don't know what we're talking about, it's a city. I mean, it's a downright city. Oh, well, look.
So anyway, no Democrats called me when Romney and McCain ran and told me how much they couldn't wait to vote for them. So I don't know what's going on. I can't read it. I went door to door. Democrats were for Trump and Republicans were for Hillary. It was the weirdest thing. So go figure. We'll find out on November 8th, I guess.
All right, well, listen, how many signs, one more time, have you put out there in that area?
I think by the end of next week it'll be 10,000. We're at 8,000 now. And we put out 29 barn signs. And I know that might not sound like a lot to you guys.
No.
But we have freaking big government here with zoning and sign restrictions. And we were able to get 29 out. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, you're right, folks. They have big government with all this zoning. And if you put a sign the wrong way, they will actually, these Democrats in these cities will send a government truck right behind you to pull them out.
Absolutely. So we're happy we got 29 barn signs out. So
is Jerry helping elect Trump?
Yeah, I know he is. But he has to do. He's out talking to people.
Yeah, Jerry is.
Yeah, he's very persuasive. So he does good at that.
All right, just double checking. Okay. Hey, thanks for that great information on those election signs, and we want to get you. The machines. Keep an eye on.
Okay.
Keep an eye on that, and we want to get back with you. Thank you very much. I know you got hard work to do.
Day.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Lee Snover is the chairman. She called right in. She gets busy, so she calls right in. We get her on. She is the chairman of the Hampton County Republican Party in Pennsylvania. They have a population there. They're about 60 miles north of Philadelphia. They have a population of about 350,000. She is the volunteer coordinator for the Trump campaign for the entire Lehigh Valley, 1.5 million voters. You hear what they're working on, what they're doing. That's good information. You will not get that anywhere else. Now, for one, you may think that this was a setup, and it was not. See, we're not like the DNC. We're not crooked. We don't rig this show. The show is not rigged, folks. You heard her say that this is going to be a country mouse, city mouse election. I loved it. Because the city mice, they're rats. So I think we ought to change it. This is going to be a country mouse, city rat election. Okay? So the country mouse out there, you might have to call your cousin in the city and explain to him how bad we're getting hurt out here in real America. I'm your host, BKP. I'm going to come right back. I got other stuff I want to share. I've been holding on. Okay? I wanted to get that call in, 9:30, Jennifer Hazelton. We'll be here. 9:30, and be on the show with us, 9:30. So we're going to take a brief break. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office.